Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Enneagram Fox, and I am a type 4, just trying to be a happier human. So before I get started today, I did want to say Happy New Year. It is 2025, and my website is under construction. However, it is open for my Enneagram Collective. So what I'm wanting to do is create a kind of community of people who really want to use the Enneagram to grow as a person and as a way to navigate through their lives. If that is something you are interested in, it is $5 a month. You can click the link in my channel's bio or my description, whatever it's called, and it'll take you to my website and you can sign up for just $5 a month. This will also give you access to me once a month. I will be meeting with everyone. We'll do like a live session because I know we're not all gonna live in the same area. And so during that time, we will have a theme that I will send out before the meeting, like well before it, and we will get to talk about it during our meeting. And again, it will be live, so it'll be a great time for like Q&A and bouncing ideas off of each other. And we're gonna try to keep it to like under an hour, because I know sometimes I can have fun with people and we're all talking and it just ends up being like 3 hours, and we're not gonna do that. So we're gonna try to keep everything as, as much under an hour as possible. So if that is something you're interested in, please visit my website. All right, let's get back to the video. So what we're doing today is we are starting off a series called How Do I Know I'm a Type 4? This series was inspired by the questions that I've gotten about like, how do you know this is your type? How do I know this is my type? And I think that's a really good question to ask. Like, you should never just like take a quiz and believe your top result. You should never let someone type you and you say, okay, and believe that's what you are. You should definitely look into it yourself. So today's video is gonna be about how I arrived at the type 4. Like, how did I arrive at just hearing that I'm a type 4. And then the rest of the videos will be about like all the details and how I'm assured that that is my type with those details. So we're gonna start off with a little bit of a story. Many years ago, like 7, 8 years ago, I somehow heard about the Enneagram. I'm going to assume it was through someone at the church I was going to at the time. I took a free quiz online and my top result was type 2. The second result was type 1, and then the third result was a tie between 4 and 6. If you know anything about the Enneagram, a type 2 is generally called the helper. They are very helpful people. They often seek validation through help. They feel rejected when you say, oh no, I don't need your help today. Like, they kind of take that more personally than what most people intend. And so I thought I must be a type 2. I can definitely be that way. And especially at that time, I was volunteering a lot in the church that I was going to. So type 2 made a lot of sense. A little while later, I decided to take the free quiz again. And I don't know why I did it, but I did. And same thing, I know type 2 was the top result. I don't remember the other results, but type 2 was like the very first result that I got. So I thought, okay, I'm definitely type 2. After that, I remember coming across someone who also said they were a type 2. In fact, I think there were 2 people who I knew who were type 2s. They were women, and I remember one of the women, she like took over something. Like, we were trying to figure something out, and like something with like a lock on the church, and she goes, oh, I know what to do. And she was just like, here we go. And like, she's like, oh, we need to call this person. I'll call this person and ask for their help. She kind of just like took over, and I thought, I would never do that. Like, I am not, like, if you don't ask for my help, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not the kind to insert myself into other people's business. And so I don't know if that was the catalyst or something else, but I ended up taking a free quiz again. Don't know if it was the same one or not, but I took it for a third time. and my top result was type 4. And I even remember it said something about me having like a 5 wing, which that's a whole other story. Wings, that's like a whole other video. Anyways, that was the first time I ever heard type 4. So a few months after that, I asked for this book for Christmas, The Road Back to You, An Enneagram Journey to Self-Discovery by Ian Morgan Cron and Suzanne Stabile. So I wanted to talk about this book a little bit because this is where the good stuff happened, basically. So chapter 1 is called A Curious Theory of Unknown Origin. And this is where the authors talk about what the Enneagram is. And I wanted to read just a sentence that I underlined the first time I read this book. It says, "She's always struggled to find words to describe what it's like to live inside her skin. The Enneagram's been a gift to her." I wanted to read those 2 sentences, not the one, too, because that is very true to me. Learning about who I am and who I have been through the Enneagram has put into words things that I just didn't realize about myself, because they're things that I have been my entire life. And so when I was like 26, 27 and learning about the Enneagram, I didn't realize that I had been doing certain things for my entire life. It just did not occur to me. And so that is part of what the Enneagram is. It's very uncovering, very revealing. It can feel very uncomfortable at times, but ultimately it is super helpful if you choose for it to be helpful. So the next chapters, there's one called Finding Your Type. That's chapter 2, where it just talks about finding your type. And then it actually starts with type 8, and it goes to 9, and back to 1, and then it ends with type 7. And then the last chapter is called So Now What? The Beginning of Love. So it's basically about like loving who you are, which is awesome. So naturally, I went all the way to chapter 6, which is called Type 2, The Helper. So at the beginning of every chapter, there is this list, and it says what it's like to be a 2. I want to go ahead and read to you the things that made sense to me. So there are 20 things that a lot of type 2s would tell you they relate to, or they do these things, or they think these things. I related to a few of them. Out of 20, I related to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So almost half. So I want to read some of them to you. These are the things that like I related to, even though I'm a type 4. I am a great listener, and I remember the stories that make up people's lives. I am anxious to overcome misunderstandings in a relationship. I feel drawn to influential or powerful people. Reading that one again, I'm not super sure about it, but it's what I felt at the time. It seems like people who love me should already know what I need. I care a great deal about what people think of me. Still very true. I want other people to think I love everyone, even though I don't. I really struggle with the fact that I just don't like everyone because I'm an adult. I like it when the people who love me do something unexpected for me. When I'm tired, I often feel like people take me for granted. I worry a lot about being forgiven when I make mistakes. Still very true. As I read this chapter, there is a story, and it is from Cron, and he is talking about a time that a person gave him a car. His family was in need of this car, and this person gave them one. And very generous, very kind of this person. However, the car was a gas guzzler. And so they needed a car because they didn't have money. Buying gas for the car was very difficult for them because they didn't have that money to spend. So he told this story to illustrate the fact that type 2s they're givers, they're helpers. However, sometimes their help can be like misguided, or to be honest, like sometimes it's just unwanted, and it doesn't matter why, they just want to help. And so they don't often think about Does this person need my help? Does this person want my help? And that's when I realized I am not like that. If I say, hey, do you need help? And you say no, I go, okay. And I will probably never ask you again. I am not the kind to insert myself into someone else's business for any reason. If you say you need help, I am 100% there. But if you don't ask, I most likely won't. Like, I might not ask myself. I might ask, but I might not. So even though I like helping, it's not something that I will do just for validation. Now, at the time, going to a church, volunteers are needed all the time for everything. And so I enjoyed volunteering, but I found myself burnt out so easily because it went from, oh, this is fun, to like, this is all I do. Which is why I related to the part where type 2s often feel like no one appreciates them when they've helped so much. But let's get to a type 4. So obviously the chapter after type 2 is type 3. I don't remember if I read that one right away, but after type 3, we get to type 4. Again, what it's like to be a type 4, and there are 20 things. I related to 19 out of the 20 things. In fact, the only thing that I did not relate to was, okay, I don't feel like reading all of this right now, but if I come across it, I'll read it out to you guys. Here are just a few of the things, the points that I most related to. I never really felt like I belonged. In social situations, I tend to hang back and wait for others to approach me. Melancholy is comfortable for me, so it's annoying when people try to cheer me up. 100%, that has not changed. I'm very sensitive to criticism, and it takes me a while to get over it. When people tell me what to do, I'm often tempted to do the opposite. Still true. I'm okay with sad songs, sad stories, and sad movies. Overly happy people give me a headache. I don't know if I would say they give me a headache, but I love sad anything. It's not sad to me. It's normal. I feel there is something essential lacking in me. I'm self-conscious. It's hard for me to find my place in a room full of people. Lots of people misunderstand me, and it makes me frustrated. I pull people in, but then I get nervous and push them away. I worry a lot about abandonment. So still, I don't know which one I didn't really relate to. It might be, sometimes I just disappear and go radio silent for a few days. I never really felt like that was me. Maybe I did and didn't realize it when I was younger. I know now, yes, because I'm an adult and my social meter is way down and I'm a major introvert anyways. So I don't know, maybe it was that one, maybe not. Also, some things from the type 4 chapter that really stood out to me. The emotional depth of a type 4. It says somewhere in here, I can't find exactly where it is, but they talk about how a lot of type 4s are just not afraid of whatever your baggage or your problems are. That is not scary to them. They don't judge you for it. They're just yeah, you're a human. And in fact, a lot of type 4s, because we feel shame for literally everything, we can often empathize really well, or at the very least have compassion for you. Also, there's somewhere in here, and I cannot believe I didn't underline it, but it says something about how type 4s can smell a phony from a mile away. And that really hit me, because I just know there's been a few times in my life, not a lot, maybe 2 or 3 times, when there's been a person who people just really like this person. And I'm does no one realize how fake they are? They're so fake. They're just trying to charm you. Is everyone fooled except me? Am I an idiot for it? And of course, you know, the shame in me is like, how dare you? Aren't you supposed to like everyone? And I'm like, but I just don't like them. Like, I want to like them, but I don't trust them. There's something weird about them. So anyways, that line, smelling a phony from a mile away, was yeah, that hit me pretty hard. When I read that list, I felt so exposed. I was embarrassed. I felt shame, which that's a big type 4 thing. We're in the shame triad. We'll talk about that later. I had that like, oh, that kind of moment. So that is it for this episode. I'll have plenty of more episodes about how I know I'm a type 4. We'll talk about triads. We'll talk about other books and just things I've seen on social media and things that have really hit me and why they've hit me. And yeah, so thanks for joining me today. If you do have any questions, please just let me know down below. Again, if you want to be a part of my Enneagram Collective, click the link to my website, enneagramfox.com, and you can sign up for just $5 a month to be a part of the collective and hang out once a month and talk about the Enneagram. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon.